today we'll be talking about the admin experience with how to set up and your access and your permissions for your users. We have two speakers today. We have Ying and Oyen, who are solution architects on the Amazon Quick Site team, and they will be the ones who are covering today's session.
Thank you, Madison. Yep, so here's today's agenda. We will quickly introduce Amazon Quick Suite, which is an evolution of QuickSight from a full Gen AI combined data analytics solution or platform. And then we will talk about the user management and custom permission. We have 4 to 5 different mechanisms to allow you to run the user management. And we also have the new feature custom permission. I mean, it's not new, it's an existing feature. But we enrich it to allow you to run the account level, role level, and individual user level for the feature access. And then we will talk about the access permission and the AWS resource access permission, and high level introduce the new feature, the account level usage analytics in the admin page. And then Oyen will run the example for the Okta integration with IAM Federation to access Quick Suite. Yeah, everything will be in demo style. We would like to run the screen share instead of the PPT talking. Yeah, and we will have the Q&A session, and we will also provide you the learning resource. Okay, sounds good. So I have an account. In this account, I have the AWS console access, but I didn't subscribe to Quick Suite yet. Then when I try to move to the Quick Suite login section, what I see is here, Amazon Quick Suite, and let's get started. 25 free user for 30 days. And here is my AWS account ID, right? If I sign up, click the button, and you will see this page, how to sign up for Amazon Quick Suite. You can provide account name here, and you can provide your email address for the account level notification here. And then you can choose your default region. Quick Suite is enabled for multiple regions. QuickSight is enabled for almost all the AWS region. But we will have a default region for your spice data, for your indexing storage. You can enable multiple regions, but we always ask you to provide us your default region, okay? And then here is the interesting part. What will be the authentication method you choose? You can choose called password-based or single sign-on. This one is recommended by Quick Suite. This authentication method including 2 types of user. One is you can provide an email and then send the user invitation, and the user will setting up the password, and then they will log in by using an email address and the password. Okay, this type of user we call it Quick Suite. Previously we call it QuickSight Managed User. And by choosing that, you can do a hybrid mode, including both the password-based and the single sign-on. Single sign-on is you can create a SAML OpenID connection, whatever, and your user pool is handled by a third party. And then once you pass your IDP authentication, then it can redirect you to the IAM Federation. And then you can assume an IAM role. We pre-configure it to log in into your Quick Suite session and allow you to, by using that assume role and hook up with the QuickSight user role to allow you to do the any operation inside Quick Suite. So that's the single sign-on. Of course, you can choose the IAM Identity Center. I will show you what's mean about that. That means you are using IAM Identity Center to build your user, build your user group, build your user pool, and then load or import those users into Quick Suite. And you don't manage the user group or the user role inside Quick Suite by using your IAM Identity Center to manage the user group. And then you can, if you pass authentication with IAM Identity Center, then you can hook up with a Quick Suite user session to do the operation inside Quick Suite. And you can make it your Quick Suite account to be single sign-on only. You don't allow the password base. You only allow the IAM federation. Okay, that's the third method. You can also choose the Active Directory by using your available Active Directory credential. Just be careful. You choose any authentication method, you cannot redo it. We will set up your account in this way. If you would like to change the authentication method, you have to unsubscribe and then resubscribe your Quick Suite account again. Okay. And one more thing for the IAM Identity Center, we will explain a little bit for you about how can you set up it from the IAM IDC. Okay. And here is encryption. Encryption means you can use the AWS managed key, or you can bring your own KMS key for your Quick Suite resource. If you fill up all the information, then you can click a button, say create account, and then we will help you to sign up Quick Suite account with those settings. Okay. And now let me move to an account I already set up. For example, this one. This one I use the authentication method 1, which is combine the password base and the IAM federation. So if I go to Manage Quick Suite and go to Manage User, and you will see I have some user. You can see here, say by using email, and then the username. Here is the here is the username, and here is the corresponding email. Those users, I invited them by using. Sorry, it should be this one. For those users, I invited them by using the email password combination base. What you can do here is you can say invite user, and then you can put the email here. For example, I just say test at test.com, and then I can add it, and then you just by default you just use your email address as the username, and then here is the email, and then you define the role. Previously we have reader, author, and admin, and now we have 3 more roles called Reader Pro, Author Pro, Admin Pro. What's the difference? The reader is all the $3 monthly license. You can only view dashboard and create the executive summary, those things. Author is the one you can create analysis, publish dashboard. Admin is similar as author, but you can run the administrative work. And now we have Reader Pro. Reader Pro means not only the BI functionality, but also the Gen AI functionality in the Reader Pro. You can talk to the agent, and you can even run some creation to create the new Gen AI feature. And the Author Pro, that means you can fully enjoy all the Gen AI feature, not only the BI feature. And similarly for Admin Pro. If you choose a role, and then you can choose is an IAM user or not. If no, then this user is only controlled, only managed by QuickSign, and by using the email and password combination to pass the authentication. If you choose yes, that means this user actually is an existing IAM user. Then when the user try to log in, it's IAM to run the authentication to allow you to log in. And once you pass the IAM authentication, then you can go inside to QuickSign. IAM will redirect you to QuickSign. And then according to the role set up here, you can perform what you can do. That's the two different way for the password-based user, IAM or no IAM. Okay, you click the invite button, then your user will receive the invitation with this email, and then they can accept it and change your password and perform the login and so on and so on. And here you can see some more complicated username. What's mean about this? This one is I have IAM role called admin, and then I allow some of my colleague, my user, to assume this role and then log in by using their user session. And once they pass the IAM federation authentication, that means they can assume the role. And under the hood of the role, we will create a user in QuickSign for this assumed role. So the username is a little bit more complicated by concatenating the IAM federation role / and the user session. That's the whole username. And you can see here, for example, for my username, it is assuming this role / and my user session. Okay. But in here, we still provide the user email. That's when you configure your IAM federation, you can configure. We still carry over the email, and we will use the email to as a condition to validate your user login session. And here you can also specify the role. You can refer to this blog. I provide some sample code here. My suggestion is always create the user when they first time log in, only let them to be reader. Only let them to be reader. When you build IAM role, the attached policy is QuickSign create reader. And after they first time log in, you can do manually, you can do programmably. What I did is I put the user information into parameter store. I also put some detailed information as a CSV into S3 bucket. And then I run some lambda function to assign the corresponding role for those users to promote them to be author or admin by doing this. That's the suggestion I made, and you can read the blog. I should update it to fit into the current Quick Suite. We have the Reader Pro, Author Pro, Admin Pro. Probably 2026 Q1, I will update my blog. Yeah. Yep. So here, this account, again, there's the authentication method one combined with the password base and the IAM federation. Okay. And I have another account config in another way. And for this account, I config the Quick Suite by using IAM identity center. So in here, you have no any access point to be able to do the invite user anymore. You cannot like self-invite any user from the Quick Suite interface. What you can do is you can add a group which is predefined in your IAM IDC. For example, in here, I predefine a BI Reader Pro group, BI Reader group, and so on. And then I bring in those group into my Quick Suite. I also create the user in IAM Identity Center and assign those users to the corresponding group, so that when the user they pass the authentication with IAM Identity Center, then they can go inside Quick Suite, and according to the group, the role assigned to them, then they can act as a reader or author pro, admin pro. Okay, this one is the IAM Identity Center authentication method. Yep, and similarly for the AD, you will see the similar user interface. You have no way to do self-invite or invite a random user. You have to ask your AD admin to add a user in your Active Directory, and then they can be able to access Quick Suite. And for the single sign-on only, that's similarly, you don't have the interface to invite a user by using email. It can only be pass the IAM Federation authentication and then log in into Quick Suite. Okay, so here, let me continue to explain some other admin setting here. You still have the manager account. When you click this button, you will see the, sorry, my section go out. Let me go in again. Yeah, what I'm doing here is internally we have those account called ISONGuard AWS account. And in the ISONGuard account, I configure some IAM role here. So when I click this one, actually, I pass the IAM Federation role by using my Amazon single sign-on, and then I can go inside to choose one of the AWS session, and then to view my Quick Suite account setting. And since I'm logged in by using the IAM Identity Center, so I directly see this admin interface. If I would like to see more detailed contents of this account, I have to perform the Quick Suite signing in to really log into the interface which Quick Suite provide to me. So now I use my IAM Identity Center username, and then type in my password defined in the IAM Identity Center. Then I am able to log in Quick Suite interface by using my IAM Identity Center username. Let me go to the IAM Identity Center to explain a little bit more to you. You see here is IAM Identity Center, right? And in here, I define the group, right? That's what you see in my Quick Suite account management interface. And then in the group, I have this user, Zhang San, right? That's what I just logged in into Quick Suite. So I define the user and the user group in the IAM Identity Center. And then I say this one, this group and this user can go to access this account. Okay. And then in this account, I allow them to be able to access the Quick Suite application. Okay. So that's what you were observing, seeing that when I try to log into Quick Suite, it will go to a custom portal to ask me to sign in with my user and password defined in the IAM Identity Center. Okay. Okay, good. And why I open this one because I didn't high level introduce what is Quick Suite. I have to do that before I move to the custom permission section. You see the Quick Sign section here. You're already very familiar with it. That's all the BI component of Quick Sign. And now Quick Sign is a product of the whole Quick Suite. So forget about this part. That's what the reader, author, admin can operate. And we have those new fancy things, chat agent, space, flow, research. Those are the new Gen AI feature. We only have time to high level show you a little bit. Chat agent means it's just like a agentic style to allow you to run some chat to answer your question. And you have space. Space you can think like a folder. So in the space, you can put the structured data, which is dashboard, and unstructured data, which is some PPT or some Word document, or even the web crawler results knowledge base here. And you can even put some action here, the third-party action. That's space. You can think like a silo for you to get all the information and all the action to allow you to, based on the data insights, to move to the next step. And flow is something can help you to run some automation to run it step by step. For example, this flow allow you to analyze dashboard, get the key insights, and then send the summary to a Slack to your colleague. That's what we call flow. And you also have research is a agentic AI feature to allow you to run a research based on natural language prompt to give you a PhD thesis style research paper. And we also have the quick automate, which is a more complicated project to allow you to run some automation. For example, in this one, you can go to a web page and get the data, download the data, and then scan the data in this Excel and then input into some website or database. That's automate. So those are the new feature outside beyond the BI functionality. Then you might think about that. You might want to do like, hey, I don't want everyone to be able to access those Gen AI feature before I fully test it. It has no hallucination. It's well defined. And I would like someone who is aware of the agent hour cost to be able to trigger those new feature. I don't want like someone just play some random task to let my account to pay the high bill for the Gen AI features. Then how can you do that? You can go here, manage quick suite, and then go to the custom permission. Yep, and then in here, you can say, let me define a profile. You give a profile name. For example, you can give a name, say BI only. And then you can check all those new quick suite feature. You check it means you disable it and only keep the analysis and dashboard as unchecked. That means this BI only profile will be only able to run the QuickSight related capability, not none of the new feature they can access. You can also go to the more restricted feature, more granular level and say, I might want to let them to access some of the feature. For example, I would like to allow them to run the web search and create a chat agent, but not the flow feature. And in future, we will enable all the granular level for all the other features. Here is like a decide, depending on the big feature, we give some specific granular access. So I would like to allow them to create a chat agent, to use internet search results, and to enable the bedrock model for the flow, but not the other sub features. And then you can create another profile, say maybe say partially or pilot Gen AI profile. And once you create the profile, for example, in here, I create one to only allow the user to access the BI feature. And then I can say, set as the account level profile. It will turn on the account level. And you can say, I don't want to enable on the account level. I would like to apply to a user role or specific user. Then you can call the QuickSuite API to apply the profile to a specific user or even a specific user role. For now, we don't have the group level or namespace level. We only have account level, user role level, and user level. The user level will override the user role level and account level. The user role level will override the account level. So it's a hierarchical structure. Okay. Yep. And now we understand the custom permission. I will talk about a little bit more about this one. So here is the Amazon Q permission. You can turn on the personalized response. You can also turn on it for the dashboard and visualization indexing. That means you allow Amazon Q to be able to index your dashboard and your visualization, and then your user can run the Q&A, the natural language question, and get the data from the dashboard and your visualization. Okay. And once you enable it, and if you upload some data into your space, then you have to check this one. Previously, we only have spice capacity, but now we have the index capacity. For the unstructured data, and also for the dashboard and visualization indexing, is all consume your index capacity. You can also turn on the auto scale on, similar like the auto purchase spice capacity. You can also manually purchase the capacity. Okay. If you see anything fail, don't be panic. Go to here to check. Do you still have available index capacity? Okay. So that's one of the new thing for the capacity. And let's move to the final topic. All the other, they are similar. Don't worry about that. Nothing new. One thing new is here. This one is a new thing for you to add the new action from the other AWS service. Now you can actually, some UI problem. You can actually build the Bedrock agent connection and allow your QuickSuite. There's some UI. Yeah, I'm using a no product account, so sometimes there's problem. But anyway, you can see here, I enable some Bedrock runtime and the Bedrock data. Sorry about that. Some text dragged and so on and so on. And then I can in QuickSuite to call those AWS action to do the corresponding task. Yeah, that's a new thing called AWS action. And the other, they are the same. Don't worry about that. One new thing is agent customization. For the chat agent, by default, you use the underlying LLM model Guardrail to run the Guardrail. You can also add some keywords here to block those words. You can say I block slave, I block something called password. If you add those keywords, and if your user asks any question, try to do the prompt engineering to figure out some sensitive password, your chat agent will return the answer, say, sorry, I cannot answer your question. Okay. Yep. And final thing is this one. This is brand new, the QuickSuite usage metric. If you attend my previous session before, you might know I create a custom solution called Admin Console. to allow you to manage it. To view those user metric, the engagement, the usage metric. And now in the admin page, you have some out-of-box metric available here to tell you your active user trending on month and week and daily. And it also provides a usage metric about chat agent and some other related assets. You can choose all agent. You can choose one of the agent. And then you can see how many conversation. And inside the conversation, you might ask a multiple question that call query. And it will provide you like an average query per user and average query per conversation, and give you some data trending, and also give you the assets the creation events here. You can see for the action, for the space. Here they are the creation events and use events here. This admin page will be continue to be enriched and improve. I understand you might have further questions. Say, can we do this in the portal, not only in the admin page? It probably be enabled in next year. We don't have the specific timeline yet. And you might have questions say, can we have more access type here for the usage metric? Yeah, it's in progress. Stay tuned. But anyway, you still have to combine with my previous custom solution to run more customization for the usage metric. But at least you have some high-level out-of-box usage metric for you to discover and utilize. Yep, here is it. And now, Oyin, switch to you to run the demo for the Okta integration. Thank you.
So, as part of Ying's demo and explanation today, she spoke about when you actually initiate a quick site account or quick suite account for the first time, and the options that you have when it comes to how you actually want to manage your user and identity and access in Amazon Quick Suite. So Ying spoke about the fact that you can integrate with AWS Identity Center and you can actually create and manage your user pools there. And she also demoed that. She also spoke about the fact that you can manually create users and their passwords within Amazon Quick Suite itself. And she also spoke about the single sign-on option that you can also choose if you want to select that method when integrating or when creating your Amazon Quick Suite account. If you do decide to follow the single sign-on option, you have the ability to actually integrate with external identity providers, which basically means that if your company, your organization is already using an identity provider that's external to AWS to manage their user pools, then you can actually integrate those with Amazon Quick Suite if they are SAML 2.0 or OpenID Connect based. So let's take a look at a demo of that. And for this demo, I will be using Okta to demonstrate how you can integrate with an external identity provider. Before we actually do the demo, I'm just showing on my screen now an architecture which is going to help you visualize what is actually happening behind the scenes when you actually integrate with this external identity provider, which today we're going to be using Okta. So let's say, for example, you decide to do this integration, it's set up and it's ready to go. You'll have your end users log in to their traditional external identity provider, which today will be Okta for the demo. They will log in as normal. So they'll log in, and once they do that, they become authenticated and they will be a federated user, as you can see here. So now this federated user, once it's integrated with Amazon Quick Suite, will then, behind the scenes, their identity will be passed to AWS IAM. And behind the scenes, again, this means that it's going to be associated with the appropriate IAM role based on the role that you associate with each of your users within your user pools. And then this means that once they actually want to enter Quick Suite, depending on if it's their first time entering Amazon Quick Suite or if it's them accessing it again, then they will have either be created a user record, or they'll just be assigned the existing one that they've already used before when they signed in previously. And then that user record is also going to do a mapping between the permissions that the federated user should be assigned. And then from there, they'll be able to access Amazon Quick Suite and only be able to see the assets or the capabilities within Amazon Quick Suite that they should be able to access based on the permissions that they've been assigned, based on their role, and also based on any additional permissions that you've defined within Amazon Quick Suite. And also Ying demoed some of the capabilities and how you can actually do those fine-grained access, doing things such as custom permissions and so on and so forth. Okay, so I have given a high-level overview of what this looks like behind the scenes, but let's actually take a look at what this will look like for your end users when they have integrated an external identity provider with Amazon Quick Suite, and they would actually like to log in and have the different experiences. So this is the view of an Okta admin and the applications that they have access to within their external identity provider, Okta. So I'm going to click on the AWS Account Federation application that I've already integrated with Amazon Quick Suite. And this allows me to leverage the single sign-on capabilities to access Amazon Quick Suite. So now I have been able to leverage just one single sign-on process. I've logged into Amazon, I've logged into Okta, my external identity provider. I've selected on the application, and this has taken me directly into Amazon Quick Suite without having to actually log in again, which is great. So that's the benefit of the single sign-on flow here. And now I'm just going to show you what I have access to. So I have access to Amazon Quick Suite's new AI capabilities, chat agents, spaces, flows, research. And additionally, I have access to the BI capabilities within Amazon Quick Suite. So you can see I have access to quick sites, analyses, dashboards, scenarios, etc. And you can also see that I do have the ability to actually manage the Quick Suite via the admin interface because I am logged in as an admin user. So all of the things that Ying was demoing earlier, I have the capability to access and manage. So that's great. Within this Amazon Quick Suite account, I have also configured a number of different folders. So because I'm the admin, I have the ability to view every type of asset that exists in this Amazon Quick Suite account. And I've also created folders that allowed me to distribute the assets to my authors and to my readers via folders. So I can just assign users to these folders and they'll have access to any assets that exist in these folders. So rather than having to assign assets one by one, I can just leverage shared folders capabilities to provide access to the different assets to my different users. So I've got two different folders. I've got one called author assets and one called reader assets. In my reader assets folder, I have a dashboard. And in my author assets folder, I have an analysis. So the reason that I've added these different types of assets into these two different folders is to demonstrate that when I do the single sign-on process via Okta, my external identity provider, and I log into either an author or either a reader, you'll see that not only do I have access to different types of capabilities within Quick Suite, but also I have access to different types of assets. So an author has the ability to view analyses, which is the draft of a dashboard. And the author also has the ability to view dashboards if you share it with them. But then the reader will not have the ability to view author assets. They will only be able to see reader assets, which are things like dashboards. And I'm going to demonstrate that. So I'm going to log out now of this admin account. So let's log out. Let's close that page. And now let's also log out of the admin user in my external identity provider. And instead, I am going to log in as an author. And actually, if you are able to see that I've just changed to my PowerPoint view, I've just put a list of the different roles that I'm going to log into. So Ying mentioned there's a larger number of role types now with the launch of Amazon Quick Suite. So we have admin, we also have admin pro, we have author pro, reader and reader pro. But for today's demo, I'm going to focus on showing you admin, which I've just shown. I'm going to show you author, I'll show you reader, and also I'll show you reader pro, so you can just have an insight into what readers versus reader pros can access. So now let's log in as an author. Let's log in. And you can see I see the same interface as my admin, but I have access to different applications to the admin. As an author, I only have access to the AWS application, which is going to take me to the Amazon Quick Suite account that my admin has integrated on my behalf for me. And you can see it's asking me, just confirming that I'm logging in as my author. So let's log in. And that's great. Okay, now let's just do a quick check. So you can see my username. I'm logged in as the author that I just logged into via Okta. And again, it's just demonstrating the capabilities and the usefulness of the single sign-on process. You don't have to log in multiple times into different applications once you've integrated it. And then just flag in that you can see that I can no longer select manage the Amazon Quick Suite account, which means I don't have access to the admin capabilities anymore as an author. You can also see my menu pane. As an author, I have access to a number of different capabilities within my Quick Suite account. And if I go into my shared folders, I have access to the same shared folder that my admin created, but then within here, I only have access to the author assets folder. So you'll remember that my admin user had created 2 folders within this within this higher level folder, which were author assets and reader assets, but now I only have access to the author assets. And then within here, you can see that I can access the analysis. And now let's log out, and let's go into the reader view so that you can see what assets and capabilities my reader has access to in comparison to the author and also in comparison to the admin. So let's log in here. And for the same single sign-on process, I'm logging into a different Quick Suite account, all via my external identity provider that's been integrated. And you can see it looks slightly different. Again, let's do a quick check and see which user I'm logged into. I'm a reader here. Again, I don't have access to the Manage Quick Suite interface, and I only have access to a subset of the Quick Suite capabilities, and that is defined by the role that was assigned to this reader user. And then if I go into my shared folders, you can see the higher level folder that was created by my admin, but then within here, I only have access to the reader assets. And then my reader asset that I can view is only a dashboard. As a reader, I'm a consumer of Quick Suite assets, which means I cannot do things like author dashboards. And that's just showing that. And one final thing to also demonstrate, I want to give you an insight into what the experience is like for a reader versus a reader pro. So to do that, I am going to log out and I'm going to log back in as an admin. And I'm going to just show you an asset that I've created as an admin and then share it with both the reader and the reader pro and show you who can access what once I've shared that. So let's log in as my admin user. Via the external identity provider that I've configured. Because I'm logging in as my admin, it's asking me for an additional multi-factor authentication. So I'm just going to enter that code to verify it. And then it's giving me the admin interface, but I want to go to my end user dashboard as an admin so that I can log into my Amazon Quick Suite account that's integrated. So let's do that. Let's log in. That's great. Okay, do a quick check. Again, you can see the user I'm logged into, and you can also see I have access to the Manage Quick Suite interface because I've logged in as an admin. And now let's actually go into an AI asset that was actually created earlier. So Ying introduced the concept of the research agent and the capability to create research that's generated by AI. So based on the prompt you specify, the AI is going to help you create a very thorough research report in a fraction of the time that it would take to create this, thanks to the AI assistant here. So I've created this report. I've done this prior just to save some time. And also let's just see who I've shared this with. So I'm the person who's actually created this. And I've also decided to share it with both my reader and also my reader pro users. And you'll remember, as Ying explained earlier, the reader only has access to the BI capabilities within Amazon Quick Suite, whereas the Reader Pro or the Pro users have access to both the BI and AI. So just to give you some view into what that would look like if you actually did mistakenly share these assets with both a Reader and a Reader Pro, even if you share it with a Reader, they won't have access to it. And I'm going to just show you that by logging out. And let's log back in as my Reader, and then we'll do it as Reader Pro just to show you who has access to what. And also it just kind of highlights the power of the roles that you decide to assign to each user, because they are only ever going to have access to the capabilities and assets that are defined based on the role that they are assigned. So that's the importance of making sure that you specify the right roles for your users. So you can see I have logged in as a reader, and the research capability is not accessible here. So I can't even view any assets that was shared under research with me, even if my admin did decide to share it with me. And then finally, if you log in as a Reader Pro, I should have access to that research report that my admin created and shared with me. And let's just do a double check and make sure. So let's log out. Let's log into the Amazon Quick Suite account as my Reader Pro user. Do a quick check, and you can see I have access to the AI and BI capabilities. And then within my research, you can see that, great, okay. The research report that my admin created is shared with me and I can access it. But you can see, because I am not the author with it, I don't have the ability to share this asset, so I can only read it and consume it. Okay, so that was a demonstration of how you can benefit from the single sign-on as the integration option that you select when you subscribe to an Amazon Quick Suite account. The benefit of that, again, is single sign-on, so you don't have to log in multiple times. You don't have to log into your external identity provider and then log into your Quick Suite again. You don't have to do that. And then also for your admin, they don't have to manage users in multiple places. The admin has the ability to actually just manage all of the users within the identity provider only. And then from there, they can integrate it with Amazon Quick Suite, and then they don't have to manage the users in multiple places and also manage the associated roles. So I will wrap up the part of the demo here.